entire life are you convinced is a unique human experience? When I was 12, I discovered I could taste colors. Not metaphorically, I literally tasted them. Blue was salty, red was sweet, yellow made me gag. I thought everyone experienced this until I mentioned that the blue crayon tasted like ocean water, and my teacher sent me to the nurse. My parents took me to specialist after specialist. They diagnosed me with synesthesia, a rare neurological condition where senses crosswire. Only 1 in 2,000 people have it. I felt like a freak. Kids at school called me Taste Girl and would wave colorful objects in my face, asking what they tasted like. During lunch, they'd hold up their bright lunch boxes and demand I describe the flavors. The red apple packaging tasted like cherry candy, but I'd lie and say I didn't know just to make them stop. I learned to hide it completely. For years, I pretended to be normal while secretly navigating a world where every color had a flavor. Grocery stores were overwhelming. The bright product packaging created a symphony of tastes in my mouth. I'd shop with my eyes half closed, trying to minimize the sensory overload. My parents stopped talking about it after the initial diagnosis. They treated it like an embarrassing family secret. When relatives visited, Mom would quietly warn me not to mention the color thing because it made people uncomfortable. High school was torture. Art class was the worst. All those vibrant paints made my mouth water and revolt simultaneously. I switched to black and white photography just to avoid the taste chaos. Then in college, everything changed. I was sitting in my psychology class, half asleep during a lecture about rare neurological conditions, when the professor mentioned synesthesia. During the discussion, this guy Ben raised his hand and said, "I have that. Blue tastes salty to me." My heart stopped. I'd never met another person like me. I spent the rest of the lecture staring at the back of his head, afraid to hope. After class, I approached him nervously, my hands literally shaking. "What does red taste like?" I asked, barely above a whisper. "Sweet, like candy," he replied immediately, his eyes lighting up. That simple exchange felt like coming home after years of exile. We spent the next 4 hours in the campus coffee shop comparing our experiences. Yellow made him gag too, like rotten eggs, he said. Purple was bitter, almost medicinal. Green was minty fresh, which made us both laugh because we'd independently started associating it with toothpaste. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel alone. Someone else understood why I couldn't eat off bright plates, why I preferred neutral-colored clothes, why certain movie scenes made me physically nauseous from the color combinations. We started dating 6 months later. Ben understood my world in ways no one else could. When I said the sunset tasted like strawberries and lime, he knew exactly what I meant. When we watched fireworks, we'd compare flavor notes like wine connoisseurs. He helped me embrace my synesthesia instead of hiding it. We'd go to art museums together, sharing whispered descriptions of what each painting tasted like. Van Gogh's Starry Night was a complex blend of vanilla, salt, and something metallic that we could never quite identify. Ben made me feel special instead of strange. He'd bring me flowers in specific color combinations because he knew they'd create interesting flavor profiles. Once, he surprised me with a bouquet arranged in gradient order so I could taste the rainbow properly. 3 years later, he proposed with a blue sapphire ring because he knew it would taste like our first conversation, salty and unforgettable. I said yes immediately, tears streaming down my face. Finally, someone who truly understood me. But here's the twist that shattered everything. Last week, while helping him move some books, I found his old psychology textbook. It was filled with highlighted sections about synesthesia, detailed notes about common taste associations, and even a handwritten chart matching colors to flavors. My blood ran cold as I flipped through page after page of research. In the margins, he'd written things like blue talc salty, always mention this first, and yellow pautiois unpleasant tar gag reflex, critical for credibility. There was even a timeline. Month 1, establish basic tastes. Month 2, add complexity. Month 3, share personal experiences. I confronted him that night, shaking the textbook in his face. He didn't even try to deny it. "I wanted to understand you," he said, as if that made it okay. "I thought if I could experience what you experience, we'd be closer." But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was realizing that for 3 years, I'd been performing my own condition for him, unconsciously exaggerating responses because I thought he was experiencing the same intensity. I'd been living a lie while thinking I'd found the truth.